Hello, my most amazing artists. It's so good to see you. I'm so excited to do our first lesson together. Before we do that, though, we have to do our art mantra. So please put your hands on your heart. Say my mantra. I am positive. I am creative. I am mindful. I am amazing. I am an artist. Let's get started. For today, the first thing you'll need is a piece of paper and a pencil. Remember to use those handouts in the Google slide to help you draw a self-portrait that looks just like you. We're all special and unique, and Mrs. May is going to be drawing it to make it look like her, but you should be making your self-portrait look like you. So grab that mirror, look at yourself while you're drawing, and make sure too you're drawing your hair over that oval shaped head. So we start with an oval, but then we draw a hair shape over top. You can see as I'm working, I'm changing things. I felt like my hair was going over my face a little too much on the one side, so I am changing things by using my eraser. With that said, when you're drawing, draw light until you get it right. Don't push too hard with your pencil. But if you see some marks from your pencil, that's okay, because we're going to add color and we won't see it later. So just do your best to erase it. Now I'm working on my eyes. You can see I drew a football shape for my eyes first, and then I drew a circle that touched the top and the bottom of my football. Next, I'm going to draw another circle inside of that circle. And last, I draw one more tiny circle for that highlight in my eye. I'm also adding my eyelashes right now. You'll notice that boys and girls have eyelashes, but it's your choice if you want to add those or make them short or long. Next, I'm starting to add the shape of my nose. In that handout, there's lots of different nose examples. I start with like a capital L shape that's curved a little bit, and then I start to add my C-shaped nostrils. So it's like a little C and then a backward C on the other side. I'm also changing the shape of my nose because I thought it was a little pointy when I started out, and my nose is a little rounder, so I'm really using that mirror to make sure my self-portrait looks like me. After that, I'm working my way down to my lips. I decided to not have my teeth showing, but if you want your teeth showing, that's awesome. In those handouts, again, there's so many different versions of a mouth that you can look at. I started to draw my cheekbones as well, but then I thought it didn't really look like me, so you'll see later that I go back and erase those. I'm working and looking at my mirror and trying to decide the facial features that really are important for Mrs. May. Also for my eyebrow, again, I'm drawing a shape. I'm not going to just shade in my eyebrows. Another thing I'm changing right now is the shape of my face. I have fuller cheeks, and so I wanted to make sure that I changed that shape as well. Next, I'm adding my glasses because a lot of times at home I wear my glasses and at school, and I'm going to be adding those details as well. So think about if you have glasses or freckles or you like to wear a baseball hat, add those things that make you unique and special. With my glasses, I went in and added some texture lines to my hair. I'm also adding some freckles because I do have some freckles, and I have a mole next to my lip. So I'm trying to really look at all those things that make me unique. Once I feel like my drawing looks like me, I'm going to get my Sharpie and I'm going to trace over my lines. Make sure you're happy with the way it looks with your pencil first, because you know you can't erase a Sharpie, but you can erase a pencil. After I'm done with my Sharpie, I'm gonna try and find a skin tone crayon and try and match it to my skin tone. Again, we all have different types of skin, and all is beautiful whatever kind we have. You might have to mix a couple different crayons or oil pastels together to get your perfect skin tone, because like I said, we're all unique. You'll notice when I'm coloring, I'm using value. Value is the lightness and darkness of a color. So near the edges of my Sharpie lines, I'm pressing a little harder with my crayon or oil pastel, whatever you choose to use. And then I don't press as hard as I get closer to the inside of my face. Value can really make your artwork change from being good to super great. So try this technique if you haven't before. My cheeks have a little more color and my freckles are a little bit more of a darker brown. So I'm adding those colors over top to really add that extra element to my self-portrait to make it look more like me. So mixing colors is super duper important when you are creating a self-portrait. For my lip color, I'm mixing a little bit of pink with that skin tone color that I found. Because our lips are a little bit of a darker color, but they shouldn't be bright red. I'm even adding a little bit of orange and white into it as well to capture the highlights on my lips. My hair color is auburn, so I'm mixing a lot of different colors together to get that color of hair that I have. And sometimes I have strands go over my face, so over that Sharpie line, because our hair doesn't sit perfectly flat. So you can see I'm using a brownish color. I'm gonna add some red, maybe some oranges, mix all those colors together until I like the way it looks. If you have blonde hair, I would use browns and yellows and maybe some white to get that really nice blonde color. Remember to use value again too. So I'm doing some harder lines right now. I'm putting a lot of pressure with my crayons, but then at the end, I'm going to do a lighter color and really mix those colors together to get it closer to my hair color. I've designed my hair, I'm going to start to add color to my shirt. Now you guys can design your shirt and your background however you want. Put your own artistic spin on it. If you like basketball, maybe make a basketball jersey of your favorite team. If you like dance, maybe draw a dancer on your shirt. If you like unicorns eating pizza, do that. Next, I'm going to start coloring in my eyes. Now, eye color requires a lot of mixing. Actually, one of my favorite songs is called Crayola Doesn't Make the Color for Your Eyes. So you have to blend and mix different colors together to get that sparkle and shine that makes you special. So check out that song if you're interested and do lots and lots of blending. In that first circle, the medium-sized circle is going to be black. That is called your pupil, but the iris part is the colored part, the part that I just colored, and it's kind of the shape of a moon, a crescent shape. Now I'm coloring in my pupil black. And again, if I wanted to mix some brown into that as well, I definitely could. Because sometimes the black and the color of your eye blends together to make that pupil color. I left that little white highlight there to make my eyes feel like more alive and look more realistic when you have those highlighted spots in your eyes. Next, I'm going to get some some markers for my background. I'm going to do a rainbowy background. With your markers, we're actually going to turn our markers into paint. Try this technique, it's super fun. Use regular markers at home, washable markers, and I am doing kind of like a starburst pattern in my background, and it's okay if it's not colored in perfectly. Actually, I wouldn't put too much marker on there because it won't blend as well if there aren't any white spaces to blend. So you can see I've started with the warm colors. I'm gonna start adding the cool colors next to it, and then you'll see how we turn our markers into paint in just a second. Remember, you don't have to do your background like I'm doing it. You can do whatever pattern or shape and use whatever colors you want. You are the artist. All right, you can see I've grabbed my paintbrush. All I'm using is a water cup and dipping my paintbrush into water, and it makes the marker ink blend. So that is how you turn regular markers into paint. I can't wait to see your masterpieces and what you come up with. Stay tuned to watch the second video to make your self-portraits come to life. I can't wait to learn more about you.